My name is Julianne Rice, and I'm here today to help you meet your Apple Watch Yoga Fitness Challenge, as today it's Yoga International Day, and I understand that those of you who have Apple Watches have that special challenge. So let's get right down to it. No nonsense, no fuss, no muss, no bother, no props needed. Let's just get those 20 minutes done so you can move on to the rest of your day. Yes? Great. Especially for those of you perhaps who haven't done much yoga before, let's just do a little bit of stretching and get that handled. So cat stretches. Get down on your hands and knees and take a nice deep breath and start to bend and flex your spine. Finding out where those places are where you could use a little extra stretching. I know many of you have been doing lots of walking and biking, and what else are you doing to meet your fitness challenge? I bet you're doing a lot of other stuff too. I just can't think of right now. So just keep moving a few more times. Every time you curl your back, pull your abdominal muscles in, and every time you stretch, extend, and maybe the hip flexors even get a chance to release a little bit here. Okay, now tuck your toes underneath. Can you do that? Just tuck them underneath and sit back towards your heels so the back of your toes get a stretch out. If you've been walking and running a lot, oh my gosh, in those shoes, those feet get kind of stiff. Those toes get pretty stiff. Do that a few more times. Just rock back and forth and get those toes stretched out. We're going to get ready to do a couple little push-ups so you can kind of get your heart rate up so you can stretch easier. Bring your hands in a little bit and then drop your chest right between your thumbs and then sit back on your heels again. And let's do that a few more times. There we go. Down and up. You can always just do one push-up and then a stretch. And if for some reason your toes are just really stiff, you could also just put them down like that on the floor. That'll work too. Just get that back stretched out. A few more nice deep breaths as you go. Get the heart pumped up, get a little bit of extra blood flow through the pecs and the front of your chest. And then stretch it back. And stretch your arms out in front of you so you end up with a little bit of a shoulder stretch too. Now you can untuck your toes behind you if you want to and sit back into an extended child's pose. But if for some reason you can't get into that position, just stay where you were and just stretch the arms out a little bit more. So you start to feel the shoulders themselves stretch. So here's one modification, here's another, and here would another one be. Take a nice deep breath there. Take time to really extend and stretch and feel your fingers even. And then come on back and get ready to take a lunge. So you're going to bring your right foot up. Put your hands on the floor next to you and start to go back and forth a little bit with that leg. So you stretch both the quadricep of the back leg and the hamstring of the front leg. Now I'm going a little quick because I know sometimes when we get going we're a little restless, but as we go through these 20 minutes, let's see if we can slow down a little bit. Bring your full attention to what you're doing. And just another stretch here. Now, tuck the toes of your back foot underneath and see if you can straighten up that back leg. Again, if you've been walking and running a lot, these hams and quads get pretty tight, so just do the best you can. You may end up still here, and that's fine. One more stretch. Good. Now let's just go ahead and take the other leg. So you can just bring the opposite one forward as best as you can. Tuck the toes underneath behind you or stretch them out. Either way is fine. And then just rock back and forth a little bit. I don't know if any of you do any flow yoga classes, but there's a lot of lunging. We do low lunges, we do high lunges, and they're always designed to help you get both the front of the leg and the back of the leg stretched out. They're kind of pre-split stretches. No splits today, I promise. Just stretch it gently. And the toes tucked under, it will look like this. And then lift that back knee a bit. And lower it down. And stretch it up. So I am a certified yoga therapist. So this counts. You got to make sure you know this counts as a yoga 20 minutes for your Apple Watch challenge. Good. All right, bring your knee back in. Come on up to your feet. Shake yourself out a little bit. And then bring yourself to a standing position and stand what you think is the best posture ever. Stand up straight with the best posture you know how to. Arms by your sides, lift your heart up. And then just extend the arms overhead and look up. Stretch them way up so you can have your fingertips extending right up to the ceiling. And then bring your hands to heart with your palms together, and then bring them back down to your side. And do that again. Lift all the way up. And this time extend from one side of the body to the other. Stretch it all the way up one side and then the other. Open the arms wide. And then extend forward with your knees bent. Put your head down and do a forward bend. So you're just stretching, again, the backs of the legs. Once you're down there, just relax the head, neck, and shoulders. And see if you could straighten and bend your knees a few times. What we call it, I'm also a dance teacher, what we call it is a pulse. You bend the legs and then you stretch the legs. You bend the legs. You don't really bounce, but you bend and stretch to get the flexibility through the muscles, all nice and warmed up. Relax your head. And I know no matter what exercise you've been doing, you know your chair pose. Pretty guaranteed, right? Now you're going to come up to a chair pose. Sit back. Send your seat back. Bring your arms out in front of you. And then bring your arms right up by your ears. Hold it there steady. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And lift it all the way up. Stretch fully. Arc back a little bit so you bring your head up too. Then lift up and bring your hands back down by your legs. So far, so good? Now let's just go ahead and review your plank position. Again, I'm pretty sure most of you know what a plank position is, so let's just go ahead and be sure that you do. Then we'll put them together into what we call a flow or a sun salutation. So go ahead down into your push-up position and just stay there for a moment. Important for your form here is that your hips are just a little bit lower than your shoulders. Your feet are a little bit lower than your hips. So it means it's not like this, right? And it's not like this. There you go, right in the middle, holding it strong. A little bit later, we're also going to do a side plank, and I think many of you are familiar with that too, but since I'm here, I'm going to show it to you now. You get up on one foot, and the other foot goes on top. Or that foot will come in front like this. Or if you can't quite get to it, you can also just put your knee on the floor and do it this way. All right, so later when I talk about side plank, you'll be ready. Hopefully you're still holding in your plank position. All right, now go ahead and just do a few push-ups there if you would. You can put your knees down and go down and up. You can keep your knees up and go down and up as best as you can. Or you can just stay here, just warming up your plank position, getting your core muscles nice and engaged, and getting yourself right into the center of the beginning of your practice. Okay, then bring your knees back down to the floor and move yourself around a little bit. Let go through those arms if they got a little tired, or your wrists. You know, sometimes the wrists can hurt. If the wrists hurt a lot, you can come up to your fists like this. And you notice I have no mat, I have no blocks, I have no strap today. You can get a yoga workout done even for 10 minutes, or let alone 20, without any props if you really want to. You can manage it. All right, so walk your feet in. Come back to your chair pose, just because you can never get enough chair poses. And press yourself up, look up, and bring your hands to your heart. All right. One more component important is that you know what downward dog is as we get ready for that. So come on back to your knees and your hands. Tuck your toes underneath. Pick your knees off the floor. Take your upper body towards your knees like this. And then begin to stretch your legs. Now the goal is not to straighten your legs. The goal is to stretch your hamstrings. So once you feel the hamstrings start to stretch, and the calf muscles start to stretch, and even the Achilles tendon start to stretch, you know you're in the right neighborhood. If your hams are tight from all this exercise you've been doing, you probably can't straighten your knees and keep the stretch in good form. A lot of us aren't able to, so that's fine. You don't have to stretch them. If you could eventually, great. But there's no need. The goal is to stretch the hamstrings, not to straighten your legs. All right? Got your downward dog. If you're not sure, take a look here. Stretched legs would be here. Bent legs would be here. All right. Walk your feet to your hands. Chair pose again. Stand all the way up, touch the ceiling, really stretch it out, arc back. Lift all the way up, and then bring your hands back down by your sides. So far, so good? So we had lifting, lunging, plank, and downward dog. Now we're going to put them together into the sun salutation, all right? I'll do it a few times with facing the camera, and I'll do it a few times sideways too, so we can see both directions. Bring your body back to standing in what we call mountain pose. Roll your chest open, and let's go. Inhale, lift the arms up and arc back. Exhale, come to a forward bend. Drop the head, neck, and shoulders. Now from here we're going to go to that lunge. Take your right leg all the way back behind you. Lift up. Now you can put your knee down if this takes too much flexibility. Hold it steady there. Breathe. Get the stretch as best as you can. Don't worry about keeping any particular tempo or rhythm today. We're just getting the what do you call it? The kinks out. Getting the kinks out. Now go to plank position and hold it steady there. And you can take 5 breaths here. Or start doing some push-ups. You can do 3, 5, 7, 10 push-ups right here. Get your heart rate up. Get yourself sweating just a little so the stretching is a little bit easier. All right, got a few more. And then slowly lower down to the ground. You can put your knees down, your hips down, your chest down. And then move through to a back bend. Bring your hands forward. Lift your chest up. Lift all the way up toward the ceiling. Now you don't have to go as high as I am. For many of you, you want to keep your elbows bent. Then just lift up about this high. Squeeze your seat. Stretch your legs. Try to do what you can to bend your upper back. Cobra. And lower down. Now that one is so valuable, we got to do that 2 more times. Lift up again, bring the shoulder blades together, and the shoulders are away from your ears as much as you can have them be. And lower down. And again, lift it up. You're getting all the body parts exercised through the sun salutation. And lower down. So hang in there with it, we're almost done. Tuck the toes under, bring the hands back a little bit. Now can you press your weight straight up to plank position again without bending your back? So it's just a deadlift. Straight up your body weight. And then go back to downward dog again. I'm going to turn sideways here so you can see that better. Stretch all the way through the legs, all the way through the arms. Breathe deeply. 2 more deep breaths. You can bend your knees and straighten them, or you can pedal your feet, whatever feels good to you. Stretch. Now get your feet to your hands. You can walk them, take a big step, or you can jump, whatever's there that you can do to get back to the chair pose we started with a while ago. Press it all the way up, arch back, lift it up, bring it in and put your hands by your sides. Roll your shoulders back. Now if you want to do that more and you remember it, then go ahead. Or if you want to just go ahead and rewind the video and do it again, it's good to do it a few times, at least 2 usually. But I want to give you a few more exercises before we finish. So anything to do with your quadriceps is going to be really, really, really helpful. And your hip flexors, they're right here. So if you have a wall nearby, you can put your hand on it, bring your foot up, and you know this from a lot of running, I'm sure. But see if you could do it with really good form, which means you put your knee next to your other knee, and you really press the front part of your hips forward as you bring the foot in as close to your bottom as you could. What often happens is your knee's up here, so you don't stretch it as good. So bring the knee back. You can even bring it back further. Just keep the foot into the bottom so all of this stretches. Got it? And of course the other side. Go ahead and grab the foot here. Pull that foot in nice and close as you stretch it up, stretch it in, stretch it back. There's something in yoga called a camel pose that's fantastic for this. If you're familiar with it, you can always just Google it and check and see. It's a back bend. Takes a little bit of time to get it good. Camel pose. To get the front thighs stretching. All right, and one more incredible stretch here is if you just put your hands back here. Put your feet about shoulder width apart. And then you just press this part of your body forward, almost so much that you fall forward, right? You push this part forward while the rest of you goes back. And you stretch again the hip flexors and the front of the thighs. Lift the heart and then lift up. Just do it 3 times. That was 1. Here's 2. And here's 3. All right. So before we finish, we want to go ahead and get that area again. And it's an awesome way to do it is if you're in bridge pose. I think many of you have done bridge pose and maybe other types of exercise programs. Pelvic tilt, sometimes it's called, or bridge pose. You put your feet right underneath your hips. You keep your shoulders right where they are, where they land, and you lift your hips straight up to the ceiling. Again, we're getting the stretch through the front part of our thighs. Now watch this. As I go up, the shoulder blades come closer together. The hips lift straight up to the ceiling, and the hands try to go next to each other underneath you. If you could, interlace them behind you. Do that, and lift up higher onto your shoulders. Now, if for whatever reason you're not quite that flexible today, just put your hands on the floor outside of your hips. Push your hips up, and then just keep kind of wiggling your shoulders a little closer to each other. That'll also be fine. Now, it's great to do this a few times and to hold it for a little while. The only thing that's not great is you shouldn't do it fast. So there you're up, you're holding it, you're squeezing, maybe you're getting a little tired. Then lower it slowly down. 1 vertebra at a time. It's also going to help you get relaxed to take a little relaxation at the end of this practice. So every time you come down, take an exhale and just kind of let it go. All right, let's go up again. Press the hips up. When you get all the way up there, squeeze the seat. Get the shoulder blades a little closer together. We'll do 3, so this is 2. The higher up you can go, the better, but without hurting your lower back. And then again, slowly lower, 1 by 1, the vertebra. All right, one more time. Lift it all the way up. press up to the ceiling. Pelvis is helping the stretch, moving through, strength through the legs. The feet are facing straight ahead. They're not out like this. Turn them straight forward. Lift it up. And then lower slowly down, little by little by little. Take a nice deep breath in, deep breath out. Relax the body. Bring the knees into the chest. Give them a nice big squeeze. And rock from side to side. Open the arms wide on the floor. Drop the knees to one side and turn your head to the other side. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then come back to the middle, pulling your core muscles into your chest, up and over to the side, knees to the right. Turn the head to the left. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Come all the way back into the center. Put the feet down. Relax the legs out. Now you know it's important in our yoga practice to take a rest after we do our practice, no matter how long it is. I want to let you get on to the next thing of your day, however today. So let me just remind you, yes, when you're done, please relax. We won't do it now. I want to come up and just give you a quick hello, personal hello. So as I mentioned, my name is Julianne Rice, and if you would like some more yoga in your life, I invite you to just go to yogaisyouth.com, and you can find some great online yoga classes there. That's based in Mountain View, California. I'm here in Aptos, California at our home. We have a recording studio here that I use to do this, a music recording studio, but we can do yoga in here too, Stusik Studio. And my website is juliannerice.com. So have a fantastic day. Yay for you for meeting this Apple Watch challenge, and happy Yoga International Day. Namaste.